Well, welcome to Stroke, the Journey Within podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Avila. In this podcast, I'll be sharing with you chapter 2 of my survival story. I'll start by recapping what we talked about last podcast. So I'll play with someone, anybody other. Please go to Stroke TV Media on TikTok and see if I'm live there. Would you? I'm kind of curious. First time I've tried streaming towards TikTok. So if you're out there, someone take a minute, search for Stroke TV Media on TikTok and see if I'm live there. But let's start today's podcast. Oh wait, sorry. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Aaron Alla. I'm Stroke TV Media CEO and founder. I had my brain aneurysm and stroke in 2010. Last podcast went back and we talked about my headaches were warning signs and how I ignored them, thought they're migraines. Now the pain got so intense, it was like an ice pick. I mean, if you could take an ice pick, punch heavy head, take a hammer, drive it into your skull, into your brain. That's what they felt like. They were so intense. The back of my knees made me fall to the ground. I had to lay there and wait for the intense pain to subside. And I convinced myself they're migraines. And they weren't. I went to the ER 3 or 4 times and was sent home with migraine medication every time. If you could say, I am having the worst headache of my life, go to the doctor, go to the hospital, go to the ER. Don't mess around with it. The reason I thought they were migraines is because I had light and sound sensitivity. In fact, the pain got so bad because you could drop a needle in the room and cause shooting pain in my brain. Or you could put any amount of light that hit my eyes. I would lay in bed for hours. So I'm here to tell you, let me raise a little brain aneurysm awareness. Do not mess around with headaches. That's the worst headache of your life. Don't you are having one of those headaches, go get checked out. It's worth it. You know, today is chapter 2 of it. And this is going to be, by the way, in case you don't know why I'm doing this series, and because I tend to write a book this year called Stroke, My Journey Within. Because I want the world to know what I want to raise awareness, and I want to know what my journey has been like. It's been probably, if you see a stroke survivor out there, say hello, say hi. Don't treat them like they're like an alien just because they're half paralyzed or whatever. Say hi, listen to, be patient with them. But I guess in chapter 2, I'll be talking about waking up in fear. I'm going to play that little buffer one more time and kind of introduce the show and how I woke up. Let's get to this. One thing I'll tell you guys right here is what what I woke up to. Better just drink some water. Hold on, sorry guys. But when I think part of the scariest time, you got to remember the time I woke up. I don't remember, but 2 weeks of my life actually gone by. 2 weeks of my life, I actually was in a coma. And this is what I saw when I woke up. I opened my eyes for the first time after brain aneurysm rupture. And I remember looking up at the machine, looked just like it. You see the picture there. It was beeping. I had tubes coming out of my arms. I had a burning sensation in my brain, and I realized I was in serious trouble. I mean, serious trouble. And I think that terror, that fear, and I'm trying to, it's far greater than any fear you can imagine. It is a little terror. It literally is a terror. It's beyond fear. It consumes my whole body, it consumes me as a person. I would imagine no matter if you wake up from a coma or you have a stroke, you wake up in the hospital and you're just, I don't know, say it, terror is the only word I come up with. You're consumed with a terror beyond fear. It consumes your body, consumes your heart. Yeah, I got this feeling. Now the crazy thing was, the hardest thing wasn't necessarily the fear or the terror, but then you add, I was literally could not speak. I could hear people talking, hear the nurse station, hear the towns hospital, but I tried. I couldn't speak. I couldn't tell my wife how much scared I was. If I could, I was scared. I cried several times because I just was so filled with terror, so scared during that time. But it's beyond words. In fact, what I've noticed as I am telling my story, as I'm telling my story, there's something you've heard about called PTSDs. Well, I become super emotional. I become super emotional. Obviously, I'm a stroke to my soul had deficit. But I think what happened was I became super emotional. And get my story. Okay, I have no idea why. Let me get a good cough out. I'll be right back, guys. Second. I'll play this intro. Hold on. Let me see. Play the intro one time. Well, I just want to make sure you know my stroke survivor with swallow deficit, and it's coming out, and I have no idea why. Probably because I had some ground crackers. I shouldn't make ground crackers. But I think the bottom line I want you to know is that fear was all consuming. But like I said, I couldn't speak. I couldn't mumble a word. I was mute. And literally mute. I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't tell my wife how scared I was. She's right by my side, holding my hand. And I could tell I was afraid. She talked to me like I said nothing back. So we have the beeping sound, all the machines going off. We have the unable to speak. And I could mumble something about it, and the terror feel my being even more. I can't even put words the amount of fear, terror that I felt in my. It was so consuming, and it felt like my brain was on fire. Yeah, I mean, it felt like my brain literally was on fire. And just a side note, for all any caregivers out there that may watch this, if you have a loved one that has a stroke or whatever, stroke or brain aneurysm, and they're on their backs and looking up to the ceilings, turn out the lights. Those lights felt like they're burning right into my brain. Turn out the lights. Get that darker room is so much more comfortable. My pain level went down dramatically when the nurse had turned out the lights to the room. And when you come into a room to visit someone that's had a stroke, don't talk too much. Walk in the room, be quiet, and just hold her hand. Don't say much. Because speaking at that time was so confusing. I could barely understand what people are saying. So I just be aware that light sensitivity and sound sensitivity is common after stroke. So turn out the lights and don't talk too much. It meant the world to me to have my wife and my Aunt Julie at the time by my side. Rebecca's still here after 15 years of suffering, still suffering from the side effects of stroke. But if you're out there, please put a comment. Tell me where you're from. If you're watching this live or on the replay, please tell me where you're from. Where is this stream reaching? Where's the video reaching? So put in comments your location. Oh, don't forget to subscribe to Stroke TV Media and YouTube. Sorry, guys, I do that. But I think that moment in time when I was lying on a bed, I felt so isolated and so alone. I felt like I was on a different planet. And I think when that terror I spoke of, it was it is yeah, I can't describe it. It is a fear or terror that I've never experienced before, and I never want to experience again. It was terrible. But I think the ray of hope, it wasn't that the family came in, our friends came in and were talking to me. That actually was really confusing. But when they came in, lights were out now at that point. When they came in, they didn't say anything. They just came and held my hand. I can't communicate, but for me, that was huge. That made reassure me that I wasn't alone. You go for now. I last I remember, I was fine. I think I was part of that terror. I remember being okay before my brain aneurysm ruptured. I was able to walk, able to talk, everything. I was able to own my business. And that all stopped. My key master community. I always tell them, as fast as lightning strikes, I became a stroke survivor. So many of us fastest lightning strikes became stroke survivors. I have the privilege and honor of serving the stroke community and building stroke TV media. If you want to see what I do, just go to Google and type in hashtag stroke TV. And I'll come up with pages of content. You can see what I do as a whole. But I want to tell you guys, like I said, I want to write a book. This is just for me to put down my thought, gather my thoughts, go back 15 years, and remember details. My book, when I write my stroke my journey within, will have a lot more detail because I'll be working with an editor and we get that moving and I'll be thinking about a lot more detail. By doing these podcasts to launch my book, to kind of get me in remembering what it was like. My heart to cries. I should be careful because you're gonna cry right now. My heart breaks and my compassion, love goes to all stroke survivors around the world. My dream, my goal, my hope. Hey, Scott White. How about this, Scott White? My dream, my hope is that is to have this podcast reach around the world. Oh, there's Frank, actor. He's an actor. He had a stroke. And Frank, thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Scott White, you guys give me everything to be. Um, anyway, Frank is in the United Kingdom, by the way, in case he gets out. Frank Tuffield. Can't really read my eyes so get out. But fast as lightning strikes, I became a stroke survivor. So when I woke up at the hospital, I was gripped with that terror I told you about. And anybody that's gone through a traumatic experience, I don't know of any more traumatic of event than stroke or brain aneurysm. I have both. I mean, Frank, do you remember brief? I was filled with terror, bro. Absolute terror when I woke up in the hospital. What I didn't know that 2 weeks of my life, 2+ weeks of my life went by without me have known it. I was in a coma and didn't understand it. I didn't know what had happened. Hey, by the way, Frank and Scott, what I want to do is try a new thing in it's about 5 minutes. I want to do something called Stroke Talk. I'll pull up your chat on screen and we'll just talk back and forth. A Stroke Talk Q&A and a Stroke Talk chat. So you'll have a chance to be part of this podcast. But of course, I'm not going to bring you online on phone camera. Just you could type in the chat. But support, advocate, really important. If my wife was there, my Aunt Julie at the time wasn't there, I'd be lost completely. You need to have an advocate. For me, when that machine beeping and tubes come under my arm and my inability to move my left side, I just, like I said, terror. Terror just gripped my body, gripped my being. So what we'll do next week, I'll sit there and we'll get anybody's more welcome to talk comments. Please remember this series will be on every Friday at 5 p.m. East Coast time and 2 p.m. West Coast time. So please feel free to be here every Friday. Don't forget to subscribe to Stroke TV Media on YouTube. But I want to take a few minutes, if I can. I want to try this new segment, which is I will play this little bumper and bring up your chat on screen. So Scott and Frank, everybody just say hi. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
California dreaming about.
So what we have now is called I'm Gonna Be All Great. Just keep my face off. Check it out. We love you too, bro. Yeah, Frank, that means more to me than you know. I mean, it means good over so bad. I mean, for you to see it, I mean, we all stroke survivors have each other. Really is one of the few things that we have that binds us all together. That's around the world. My goal is to number one, write about books this year, and number two, get our community all together. I'll explain it now. Oh, Scott, that's right. How I'm gonna ask you a question, Scott. Scott didn't answer that. Scott, you said you've been stroke survivors for 7.5 years. Frank, when did you have a stroke? I'm curious. I forgot when you had your stroke, bro. I'm just curious. Put in chat, Frank, when you had your stroke. Scott, what year would that have been? What year did you have a stroke? You know, this Scott showing off his driving ability, get a positive. I mean, Scott is talking about driving because he is one of the stroke survivors that amazingly is driving again. So, Scott, amazing job, bro. You're still driving. You know, the 3-wheel motorcycles coming one day. You're going to be a ride again, going cruises. 2017. Okay, gotcha, Scott. Do you remember the fear when I'm assuming, did you guys, Frank or Scott, did you either one of you lose consciousness during a stroke or did you stay awake? I'm curious. Were you awake or did you lose consciousness when you had your stroke, Frank and Scott? I had a brain aneurysm, what we call a subactoid brain aneurysm, and let's just say, yeah, okay, well, Scott, okay, that's what this is for. This is for us to talk. Yeah, it's true. Frank, great point. Frank said, our wives are amazing. 15 years, my wife, Rebecca, stayed by my side. And she's been the most amazing inspiration, hope I have. I love her so much. I need to be careful because I'll begin to cry. But how can you not be grateful? I mean, we have a stroke. Scott, Frank, me, all around the world have stroke. But there's a thing I call, and there'll be a chapter in my book called the ripple effect of stroke. This ripple effect is the people that are affected around the stroke survivor. Picture the pebble of water. Picture throwing a pebble or stone into water. The center splash is a stroke survivor. but the circles go out, they ripple out. It's my wife. My wife, I consider a type of stroke survivor. They really are. They're my aunt was a type of stroke survivor. Although I was involved with what I was going through, my stroke affected was what I call a ripple effect of stroke. You know what? Here we are. I can't believe we're up past time now. We're actually out of Miami all the time. But hey, I want you guys to come. Do you have any final things you want to say about like didn't know where was. Yeah, that's disorientation. I'll get into that part of survival. Behind disoriented. I don't know how many of you guys feel still disoriented, scatterbrained, but I feel somewhat disconnected from reality as my stroke brain is down. It's dead quite see things like they used to. But, it's just amazing. Stroke, when you're in the hospital, you're so disconnected. And then even after you get home, even now, 15 years later, I'm not what I would feel 100% immersed into life again. I'm not. I've been in a wheelchair, half paralyzed. Frank has had a blood clot in his right brain, meaning what happens is I was also my stroke on the right side of my brain. And that controls the left side of your body. This the left side right here. Just so you know. Backwards camera. And Scott said at the we're gonna end with this. Scott says, never give up. Never give up. No matter how hard it gets, stroke survivor, never stop trying. There's an inspirational that I share once in a while. It says, victory is certain for the stroke survivor who never stops trying. Let me repeat that. Victory is certain for the stroke survivor who doesn't stop trying. And don't. So the answer is just like Jess said, like Scott just said, don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying. Yeah. Guys, we should just do a live where you just come online and chat because I really enjoy interacting with you guys. But we're out of time. I want to thank you for being here. Scott, Frank, thank you for being here. Make sure you guys are both subscribed to Stroke TV Media YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this after and on the replay, please subscribe to Stroke TV Media channel. Like and make a comment, like this video, and this will help Stroke TV Media reach out and give more exposure when you make a comment or a like. So thank you very much. Scott, thank you for being out there. Frank, thank you for being out there. I really appreciate Yeah, Frank, hey, listen. One thing I can cry out of the job I've had. We're getting into that, the emotion and toll of stroke. I'll do a chapter on that in my book. But hey, you guys, keep on keeping on. I love you. Thank you for being on there supporting me. Thank you for community. Love you both, brothers. Thank you. I'll see you later.